All right, guys. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day, and I'm so glad you are joining the class once again. I hope everyone has been having a great time, and so far so good. We've been able to learn a lot till now. And today we'll be talking about Photoshop. We'll be looking at Photoshop interface just as we looked at CorelDRAW yesterday. So before that, before we delve into the class, I would like us to do few things, applications, all these applications such as the CorelDRAW and Photoshop, they are applications that are requires some particular payment plan or something, but because we installed it as a cracked version, so it is very advisable for us to make sure that we always deactivate our internet when we want launch all this application. But nonetheless, we can still on our internet, we can still connected to the internet rather, even by still opening this application. But we have to do just a few. So I will guide us to these few things together so that we can use our application um without getting the application corrupted or without being getting licensed for it. So this is what we need to first do. If you are on one of us that have your system and you installed this application in your system, so you can just go on your search button and type Windows Defender. You see, Windows Defender Firewall with Advanced Security. So you want to open that. So what we want to do here is wants to create um wants to create a firewall for the application so that when we are connected to the internet, they don't get to seen or they don't get to use the internet to run. So that is what we want to do. So what we want to go next, go to outbound. You see this outbound rule. We want to come to outbound rule. Outbound rule is just as me. I've blocked a lot of applications. So you want to click on outbound rule and I don't want them updating or every time I'm on the internet. So I block them because they will want to update and I do not want any update also. So when you are on your outbound rules, you want to come here to new rule. So you click on new rule. So once you're on new rule, you're gonna see what type of rule would you like to create. So you are on program, you make sure it's on program, continue, click next. So here, this part now. So now what you need to do now is to now look for the parts or the the root where your application is being installed on your computer. Unlike me, Windows C, local disk C, always the commonly location where application get installed. So you want to click that and then you go to your program files. There is the program files. Click your program files, then you come to if it's CorelDRAW, let's say for CorelDRAW, you come to CorelDRAW, come to CorelDRAW 2021, and then you make sure you click on your um, setup, click on setup, make sure click the setup here, make sure you open it, and once you open it, you are going to see next, then we see allow the connection if you block the connection. So to automatically be on the block the connection. So click next, and then everything will be checked. Continue, click next. So you can either give the name um Coral Draw setup, and click, then you click your finish. So it's gonna block the Coral Draw application setup and can create another new rule. Next again, also, then you want to go to let's see, still trying to see whichever application again we need to block. So here now, this is the corridor opener. This is the launching. So anywhere you see application just like this, application means that they are executable. So can just click on this to do that to also, and also click on next. You block the connection, click on next again. So all this will automatically tick. Then you click on next. Then you can just name it any name you want to give it. Coral Draw Executive. So you can just leave that like that and then click finish. So I have done that a lot for all my software and all that. I've done that for the Corel Cap, for the capture, for everything that has the um, application as their extension. So you want to also do that for Photoshop as well. So you can browse. Let's go to Photoshop. Just as I explained, your programs before, that's where you see all these other ones, all these other applications that you need to block your program system before you do that. So let's go to Photoshop. Even this first, let's see if you have any executable here too. Also here to make sure you block all this one here too. And plugins, I don't login. So come to Adebutu, the Adobe, then you open Adobe Photoshop 2016. So you want to also click on all the applications here too. No, that is how to do that. So you click up Adobe Photoshop, the executable, then you click the open, then you click next, then block the connection. Also block this connection. So you can decide to just give photo or you can just say, yes, I have done that before, but for the purpose of education, so I'm doing it once again for you guys. So PS and 20. So I will just click finish. So you have blocked it, meaning that that shows that all enable, yes, action blocked. So I have blocked all of them, but so that they are not using internet. So whenever I'm putting on my internet, so they don't get to be seen on the internet or they don't get to be updated by internet. So guys, I hope you understand that. Then once you are done, just click your close. All right. So this is just an important um, information for us to just aware, and it's not compulsory, but if you need to do that, you can also do that. And you also have some other applications that you want to also block, especially when you do a cracked version or when you have their cracked version installed. You also make sure you can do that so that they don't get updated or they don't they don't get corrupted and then they will be requesting for a license from you, so, or a trial version. So all that being said, let's open our Photoshop. So I have put my Photoshop as my taskbar here, my taskbar already. So I'm launching my Photoshop just as we explained during Corel Draw class. So we mentioned the welcome screen. Also, Photoshop to also add on welcome screen. So welcome screen also shows your recent documents. These are your recent documents, things that I have worked on before. Shows my recent document here. So I basically use Photoshop a lot for my training and um, other creative adjustments that I need to understand with my Photoshop. So I also um, so recent, so but you might say just little just few tips You might be seeing that on your chart. And so how simplifies all this makes use of internet. If you have something, you have a cloud or something, and also Lightroom photos, you are connected to internet, can access your Lightroom photos through this. And then we also have our create new. So you remember how we were able to also discuss Corel Draw. So we also create new here too. So by creating new, we have a lot of we have a lot of stuff to click on. We have a lot of templates, template make custom template for every thing we want to create. If we want to create a photo, photo size, default photo size as already given. If it's a print, we have data just as mentioned on CorelDRAW. We also have our legal paper size. We have tabloid. We have A4 size, A6 size, A5 size, A3 size, just like that. And also have art and illustrations for people that are into art and illustration, and they can want to also select it. And people that wants to also do poster, wants to be a movie poster or something, can also click on poster. And if you have a size and a size for that, you can also do that. If it's for web, so you can also click on your web, so you get to see different web banners that will be on the website. So you can also use Photoshop to create that, just as CorelDRAW does also. They both work same function, but the most differentiation between them is that Photoshop is rather a raster graphic, and which works with the resolution, which works a pixel, whereas CorelDRAW works with vector. Understand? Vector has a sharp edge when it comes to making of them to do logo. We use CorelDRAW to do logo, and also Illustrator. Adobe Illustrator, we also use that to do logo. We use them to also for other design techniques, but Photoshop, instead, Photoshop basically great for photos, editing, and other creative manipulation, and also designs. You understand? Photoshop is great, but not great necessarily to do your logo design, because it works with pixels and it works with images. So that's Photoshop for you. And so we have different sizes for this. And if you have a size that you want to also um insert, you can change size here. I like to work with inches because not all sizes in pixels that I know. So I like to work with inches. So I can decide to work with this. So our usual resolution for Photoshop is 372 resolution pixels per inches. So also, just as mentioned in CorelDRAW, we also have our color mode. So we have RGB here. We have um, RGB, and 8-bit is always on 8-bit. On our Canva, it's always on white. I don't know why it's not showing um CMYK here, but it's supposed to CMYK. Probably that might be some settings that I have done. Maybe default setting I have put my um settings to. So also orientation, we can decide to make it either landscape or portrait. Right, so we are on our document now. This is our document page, our document or drawing page, just as explained earlier. This is our windows. Here, nothing can be happening outside here, because this place is empty. So this is where the action is. So whatever things we apply, even if it's text, it's always inside this box. Unlike in CorelDRAW, let's our type tool, for instance. All right. We are on a white colored background, white colored before on our default. So um okay guys, so unlike on Corel Draw, this is what I want to explain. Unlike Corel Draw, no, you can bring your text or everything outside the windows, the application window, but on Photoshop, quite different. Every action, everything will always be inside box. So this is just what I want to simply explain. That's just how CorelDRAW works, compared to other Adobe application, but Illustrator also work more like CorelDRAW. So guys, so let us get to recognize the interfaces. So number one wants to talk about menu options. So these are our menu option. Yes, see, from file to help, just as we explained earlier, from file to help. So, and also in our file we have a lot of other sub menu options that we can do some operations. And also we have on our edit some other important details information, and to our layers, to type, select filters, or if we want to add some cool effect to our images or anything. Then 3D is a rather an extensive creative area, where we get things in action. So this is another menu, creative menu, uh, place. And we also have our window, so we can rearrange and do things. We can decide to do some stuff and decide to show characters and decide to show our brushes. No, this is our brushes panel here, and decide um show our adjustments, and all these are adjustments that comes with color, contrast levels, curves, exposure, vibrance, all that. So we can, anytime we are looking for a special tool that we are not seeing here, and just go to our windows and then click on them, or and also turn up our navigator, can navigate on our system, can navigate either to zoom in, zoom out, through our navigator. And we can do a lot of stuff, but just unlike me, I do not like to make all my things to be too easy. So I like to keep them simple. So I will just turn off this navigation for now. Okay, you understand now. So, and that's a menu bar for you. And we also have our option bar, where we also some adjustments or some numbering or some editing, or some readjustments or modifications, whatever things we want to create. So this is where the action also continues here. We have our toolbox, just as explained earlier on CorelDRAW. This is also our toolbar. This is our pick tool. So you see, just as explained on CorelDRAW, use pick tool for a lot, and use drag to hold. And also, unlike on CorelDRAW, that you click and you see a lot of other stuff, but on this one you will have to click and then click your control T. Control T actually stands for transform. And another thing you could do is so we could just go to our edit, since we are on the layer, just go to our edit here and look for where we have the transform. Or we can use the free transform, the Control T, our keyboard, and we can easily, once we have this, it actually shows that we want to enlarge it by pressing it. If we press this like this, just on like on Corel Draw, it doesn't work on Photoshop like that. On Corel, on Photoshop, you have to, whatever things you want to, modification you want to, you make sure you are holding your shift key. So when I hold my shift key, they get resized proportionally instead of queuing, you understand. But if you hold your shift down, they get um resized proportionally. And if I also want to make it resized in the in resized centrally right now, I'm going to hold my shift and my alt key together. My I'm holding my shift key and my alt key. Photoshop is rather a complex application, but I wouldn't want us to jump into all this for now and just using that. So an example. So we have our toolbox. I'm just trying to show us what our our tool does, move things around. We also have our marquee tool. This is also an important tools that we use to mark an items. Let's say we have let me just drop some images here. So we can just move our image and drop them onto Photoshop directly. So I'm on the move tool now. See, I'm on the move tool. So anytime you are dropping your images, comes with a modification. Either you want to rotate or you want to size it. So I'm clicking my resize. So I'm clicking the shift and the alt together to resize it centrally. Then I'm doing that. For now, I would delete this. So on Photoshop is rather different with Corel Draw. Photoshop works with layer, so whatever things we need to click or we need to pick, you have to first go to layer. So you click on the layer first before you are able to access it. If I'm trying to pick um my image but I'm not on the layer, see what do. So I am forgetting that I want my images, but I am on the background layer. So the background layer will just shift because I'm on the background layer here being activated here. But if, and this is Control Z now, if I now want to pick on my image, then I will also pick on the image. So that is what that does, and I can decide to just um hold it now. So and we want to explain what the marquee tool does. So marquee tool is rather you make a selection. So by making a selection, I can decide to use this selection. This selection actually works for me to be able to use it to edit some parts of these images. I can decide to add some, little bit of color or contrast or something that part. See, so it will definitely sample that area. So I can decide to see. So that is what that does. I can decide to brighten that part, or I can decide to brighten it a bit, and also can decide to work on the. Don't let me get to the part, confuse everybody. So I'm just trying to explain some basic tools for us. So I will keep in. So and we also have our we have a market too, just as explained, and this one also comes a lot of other shapes, you know, that we can use to some edit. And we also have our laser tool. We use actually do just little see, a little um sketching if we do not want any of the marquee tool box, the rectangular one that I just showed you guys. This is rather used wants to have a free and sketch for us to be able to our Photoshop is a very great application for professionals. It's rather a complex application also. So that is what that does. And we also have quick selection tool. What does the quick selection tool does? That one is used to also pick, sample some areas. If I want to just print out this part only, I can use this tool to I can use this to grab shape of that part. See, to grab only that shape, I'll just make sure it doesn't pass the edge. I'll do it with patience. That's what that does. I can use that to trim the image. So by trimming the image, what I'll just do is I will use my layer mask. This is what is called layer mask. So what layer mask does is use it to remove parts or edit parts. So I can layer mask. So once I use my layer mask, the other parts will not be showing. The part that I want to show will show, and it gets to show us black form. White means that area that is showing, black means the area that is not showing. So this is rather an a a a professional um um professional professional course now, but I don't want to move into details because you guys might get confused. So I can decide to also use my control I to convert this layer marks for me to switch from showing parts that we curve to removing it and showing the other parts that we also do not cut. So that is what layer mask does, but I don't want to go extensively into that, just explain just a few details for us, and I can just press my Ctrl Z. So if I press my Ctrl Z, it will only give me these two edits, these two revision or revise. But if I want to revise it back to the original form, I'll just press my Ctrl Alt. I'll hold my Alt and then press my Z together. That is what that do. So take us back the process, or you can just go and click your edit back again and click your step backward, step backward. So you can see Alt Control Z what I pressed, and if I want to go back forward, Shift Control Z. So I'll just press my step backward. So and also step backward again, then step backward again. So now that is what the selection tool do. Use it to trim our images and remove some parts in our images and all that. And we also have other other sub tools underneath. We also have the magic wand tool that wants rather a complex tool, not a complex tool, but tool that we use, but I do not want to get details. But for the purpose of our learning, because we are beginner, so I would make sure to make um, as simple as possible so we don't get confused. So this is also our crop tool. So we use crop to crop parts of our image, so, or our documents. So if I want to crop a part of this, I can just crop it and then I'll just click my enter, or I'll just click here. So it just crop entire composition, the entire drawing page. So I'll just take my control Z back again. So then I can click my view will take me back to our move tool. So also we have some other pull tool. This one too also is an eyedropper if we want to sample particular area in image and sample it and then reflected on our color panel here. So that is what that does, and we can use for other um parts of our drawing um page. So maybe if we want to add that color to our text, so that's what that does. And we also have the spot healing brush. Spot healing brush is rather great for photos. If you have photos, let me have some. Let me just add just some random image. Let me just let me see if I can has spots on its face. So can use that. I'm using my control plus now to zoom, but instead you can also use your zoom key. Press your zoom or you press Z on your keyboard. So once you are on the zoom key, you can use plus, then you start clicking on it a bit, zoom in with your mouse or zoom out. So you can use it to zoom in and zoom out just by dragging on your mouse, or you can as well just use your fit to screen or fill screen, you understand, and then you can just zoom all windows together, then we go back that, then I can decide to also use my minus, reduce the zoom size just like that, then I'll go back to um 2 to um not to move it now, to let me just use my hand tool. So hand tool, what hand tool does, if wants to, move it, wants to view it more, wants to show it, you know parts where we want to see the visibility very clearly. So we use that to move things around, and this is rather different from the pick tool. Pick tool only move the object. Let me show you guys once again. This is what pick tool does. Pick tool will move this object like this, but when I use my hand tool will, when I zoom it now, hand tool will just move the whole composition, the whole drawing page, the whole drawing page, but it's not necessarily moving it out. It's just by way of us seeing it very well, or seeing some parts on the drawing page very well, so that we can have cognizance look at them very well. So I can decide to go back to zoom tool and then zoom in. So we are on the spot healing brush. The spot healing brush is, so now I'm on the spot healing brush. So what I will need to do here is, because my image is a smart object, I will have to take it back to rasterize layer so that I can take it off this tool, because work rasterize layer, not the my not with a smart object. I will explain what that does to later in the future, as we go along on the course. So I can use to remove some parts, remove some dotted spots on images. So that is what that does. And we also have some other um, healing brush too. Also almost the same thing. Okay, mouse click to define. So what that does, healing brush, what that does is I will make sure I'm on my out. So I will click my out to sample this area. So once I'm sampling this area, I will click on it. Then I will now click it on wherever spot that I want to move on the image. If I do not want this black spot here, let me zoom it a little bit for us to see. I will my hand now. Then let's say there is a spot here. I can use the same spot filling brush. Okay, filling brush. I'll create um new a new sampling area. I will just click my out. Once you click your out, change you change the symbols to this, meaning it wants to wants to get the wants to sample this area color. You can just move in, cover that part. So that is what that does. So I'm zooming out now. I'm pressing my control and my minus key, move out, zoom out, and then my H for my hand to resize my um to the center. So guys, see, there are a lot more here. If I start explaining, you will all might get it confused initially, but as we go along on the training, we get to understand them better. Understand, we'll be using them to train our image. So we'll use them to train our images for now, so that we can practice how to train images in Photoshop. So now on the we already explained the toolbox from the pick tool. There are also some other tool here. This is if we want to modify um um thing. Okay, okay, trying to see if I can. Okay guys, so from our pick tool to our zoom tool, whereas they also contain some other tools inside the game that you can click, like on Corel Draw we mentioned our shape. So also this in Photoshop wants to draw your rectangular shape, you hold your shift key to have a square shape, and if you want the rectangular shape, not hold your shift, just hold your control key, to give you that shape of free and rectangular shape that you want. So, and you can decide to give it a color just as explained. Corridor. Once you click that, you make the shape, a property of it will come out, will pop out just like this, and you can decide to change colors. This is a fill tool. Um, sorry, this is a fill tool. So if you click on the fill tool, here you can decide to color. Sorry, and decide to change color. And if is the outline tool you want to change the color, you can also use the tool to change outline color, or you can increase outline here also. So the outline can increase just so so we can decide to give it rain, and it once that then have our green outline on the shape. So guys, that's that. And also um a circle. We can also have circle, also rounded circle, circle, polygon, other custom shapes. So when I click on custom shape, we can make a lot of custom. So by clicking shape here on our on our action panel. I call it action panel rather. I don't know, my voice is going. I can call it action panel also. So where I can modify my 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 where I can modify things. So guys, you can see we have a lot of shapes here also. And this is our text tool. Wants to make a text, wants to typography. This is our pen tool also. Wants to make particular shape or wants some node pen tool. So so now moving forward, I want us to talk about our other panels, this, which is also the layer panels. So this is what is called other panels. Contains our layer panels, contains our layer panels, our channels, our path and adjustment panels, the all other properties that we can add to our document, and also the color and swatches, all of them. And also we can edit, can edit and move things around. I can decide to just bring them out, and decide to bring them out, remodify them, do a lot of stuff and all that here, or just take it back. So how do I take it back? So I'm going to just drag edge where this blue stuff just show. This blue shows that you want to bring it back, or you want to bring it back to the corner. So I'm just going to leave my hand, then I'm going to just bigger back, because this is the important part. And I can decide to also increase area, also stretch it out, and decide to move this, can decide to move this because I don't need this. I can decide to also put back top. I can decide to also remove this one. See, you have a lot more to work with whenever you are on your panel panel part here. So you have free hand to modify it whatever way you want to. So guys, this is just the preliminary of Photoshop. And now going moving forward, I would also like to explain our layers. So this is our layers. So under our in our layers, our layer, everything that is being placed on the drawing page here, anything we place, be it a text, be it a shape, anything, you are going to see it on the layer. So how does layer works now? Layer simply works just by, if you have a blue color plate, a red color plate, and a white color plate. Now listen, you have a blue color plate, white color plate, and yellow color plate, and you place the yellow color plate on top, the blue color plate in the middle, while the other color plate on the bottom here. Which one will be revealing first? Is the one at the top that will be revealing first. So that is how layers also work. So whatever thing that we place at first, what will be showing to us, resize unless I can decide to resize it, or I can decide to resize it and move it here so that it can also show other parts of the layers, objects that we have in the layers. So that's that. So also I can so also what we also use layer for is we can also toggle eyes. This simply illustrates an eyes, meaning that I do not want to show this image or this layer. I don't want to show this one. I want to show this one only. Can toggle, we can toggle the eyes shape, whatever we want to. Maybe if we don't want this to be visible anymore in our document, or for printing or something, you can just toggle it off, or we toggle it on. So, and also what we do on layer is also we can just just like I explained with the illustration of the plate colored, I can also move my plate, like the blue color plate that is being put in the middle. I can decide to just make it review, you understand, by moving it to the top. So can also do that here by going to this, be on top of this image. You can just move it until when this area is showing blue icon, blue line. So it shows that you want to drag on top of the area there. Then you just leave your mouse, just drag it there, and it will be on top. So we use layer to arrange our objects all together. So that's the function of layer, and we also use our layer to do some other great editing. So with our layers, we also click on them to add we can through our layer we can create a color, we can decide to change the color balance of this image. So because I have clicked color balance, so it's now on top of this building layer, because I click it, and I can decide to also bring it down so that whatever adjustment I do with the color doesn't affect this image. So I'll do my Ctrl Z back. So see what will happen here now. So I am changing the color, guys. I am moving it to magenta. You see it is changing, moving it to magenta, to red. So I'm just changing. You see that it is affecting the whole document here. It's affecting everything that is in the layer. But what if I do not want it to affect all the layers? I just want it to affect just this building only. What do I need to do? Then what I'll need to do is that I will have to clip this layer, this color balance colored that we just did. I will have to clip it inside this image, inside the building image, so that it doesn't affect other. So what I will do, I will I will just shift my mouse this left hand side, then I will click on it. I will left click my mouse. Once I left click my mouse, you are going to see a create clipping mask. The create clipping mask will clip it, we clip it inside this view only, so that it's not affecting the entire layer. So guys, that's just the basic understanding of how Photoshop is. On our next class, we will be using Photoshop and CorelDRAW to design, to make our first design together. We'll use Photoshop for now to train, you understand, because it's a really complex course, Photoshop now, for and it takes a whole lot of understanding and practices and tutorials for you to be able to know how every tool here works. So guys, this is just the basic tutorial that we need to understand on Photoshop, and whatever thing we are doing, we make sure we come to file and we use our save, just as explained earlier on the save as. Save as is when we already have saved images that we open, and we do a modification to that image, but we do not want the new modification to affect the original image. We want to make a duplicate for the image on the saving. So we save as. But if we want to save the entire um, um, design or project with our control save or save, and save it. And once you save, the format for save type on Photoshop is PS, meaning Photoshop document. Why on CorelDRAW are CorelDRAW or CDR rather? Let me show you an example here. So I have on my um just okay, this one show. Let me just go back to my document here, my file explorer. Then see here it's been made. This this application, this design is being made CorelDRAW. So once the CorelDRAW icon here shows that it's made CorelDRAW. So I want us to see the property here. So you see, it says Honorable Oladipupo Empowerment Program 2, which I saved it, and the file type CR, meaning CorelDRAW format. So you cannot use CorelDRAW format design that you use and then you want to use it to open Photoshop, it will not open. Whereas you cannot also use Photoshop PSD format document you save to also say you want to use CorelDRAW to open it. It will be error format, never open unless we have a format for Illustrator. CorelDRAW also opens Illustrator image Illustrator project. You understand, because they both are vector applications designs, application software. So that's guys. I hope we are able to understand fully this course. So guys, I will see you in next class where we'll be making our first designs together. Thank you guys and have a wonderful day.